Hello and welcome to another edition of Naughty Dog taking down a bunch of copyrighted material which may or may not be illegal. It's hard to say with all their various takedowns on social media, from YouTube to Twitter to Facebook to image boards to other video boards. It's just all across the internet things are being taken down. And this is in regards to Memology 101. It's a fantastic YouTube channel, updates a lot of times. Their latest Last of Us was on May the 3rd, so that has been taken down, which is great. And some of their images have been taken down from this Twitter post. So some images have just been removed. I don't know why. It's very strange, but okay. Here's the archive copy, so let's go through them both. So this is in regards to Jason Schreier's sort of defense of the leak, meaning or saying that it probably wasn't from devs, which is hard to say because even Jason admits it looks like devs are playing this, but it's as if the leakers or the hackers would have then downloaded a video of that or something showcasing that. Very odd footage. It doesn't sound right. Like why would devs copy themselves playing a dev build, storing the video on that server, and then the hacker would come by and download that file? So that doesn't seem very likely. It's probably a dev with the hardware and the software and actually playing the game and knowing what they're doing. So this is Memology 101. Let's dissect the Last of Us 2 leaked footage. Jason Schreier and everyone believing this bullshit claim. The leaked assets are from an early build, yet we see these dates and footage on the footage. So that looks like March 2nd, 2020. Some minutes into the footage, and it seems it goes back at least as far as February 2020. Okay. Right before going into the menu of the game, we see this text. I will be honest, this is beyond my knowledge, so anyone is welcome to shed some light on this part. And it is a little bit hard to read. So, yeah, I'm not going to go into that because it's hard to decipher there. But it's been going on since February, this content. The game menu, again, very basic. March 2020 again. These are all dates. So this has been going on for months. Not just footage, but actual language a dev would see while using a dev kit or even a test kit to be able to run the build. So there's all sorts of commands off to the side here. And again, this is a dev kit. Dev kit is hardware and software. You need all these components to make a burned copy of or a dev build of your demo or your alpha or your beta. So you would have to know these controls. You can't just download the software from a server unless you have all the hardware and all the other necessary components to run the build. So you need like a Visual Studio build or so whatever compiler you're running to get all the libraries set up, which is custom. Every build would use the same kit, but then you'd have other libraries based on what technology the developers are using. So already you would have to have someone on the team who is a developer, unless you're some sort of weird hacker guru god who has all the hardware and software at their fingertips. They know exactly how everything works, which is highly unlikely. Now, this is like some random person working on the build. A hacker unrelated to Naughty Dog and Sony somehow knows how to walk his way through this dev kit. And I don't know if that's been taken down. Yeah, it's been taken down, so we can't actually see it. But it looks like they're controlling the environment, so taking away entire renders of objects, the water effects, reflections, all sorts of things related to that. Here we see the hacker and totally not a Naughty Dog employee altering in-game assets. Again, this you would have to know how this dev kit works, how the console commands or whatever commands that they're using in the dev kit. So you'd have the actual PS4 style dev kit along with a computer or a keyboard plug into the dev kit, and they'd be testing things that way. It's very hard to do if you don't know what you're doing, let's just say. A lot harder than, let's say, building a website because there's standards in place that anyone can jump into. But when you're talking about, I'm assuming, I don't even know what it's built in. Is it Unreal? What Last of Us is built in? But there has to be some custom tools, plugins, very refined things to get these sort of graphics working. The person keeps altering in-game assets like someone who knows what they are doing. Still believe this is just a hacker and not an inside job? It clearly looks like a developer or someone who knows what they're doing. So either this was downloaded just last month from April, and they've been working on this the entire time, trying to get this thing to build, trying to get this thing to run, and they know all the commands somehow. And there's very unlikely that to occur unless the hack came, when they downloaded whatever came from the server, came with instructions like a giant README telling you what to do, which is highly unlikely. Usually you separate your text and your docs from your dev builds or your executables. So it's highly unlikely that was the case. Take a look at the screenshot. Look at the numbers representing the assets. Third shows materials, rendering, and unique colors. Yeah, so all the shading, all the shaders, all the rendering, all the textures, everything is showcased there. Same idea. More of the internal workings. Can't provide clips due to copyright, but here are spoiler-free screenshots. The hacker starts manipulating and moving the entire character model of Ellie. So yeah, you could change the location of assets, just like the character player or player character. Same idea. So they know a lot about these controls. I wonder if we can see that one. That might be cool. So here we have, I'm not sure what flags these are. These could be assets. These could be flags. These could just be, well, these could be anything. I have no idea. Yeah, but this hacker has to be Mr. Robot to even have access. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing. You can't just start pressing buttons. This is not like a giant switchboard with everything labeled. This is probably a console command like you would see in many other games where the tilde button brings down a console command. You start typing, and you have to know what all these things do. Guitar store, freeway south. These are probably maps or locations that get loaded into memory, and you can turn them on and off. The hacker known as 4chan was able to access the specific set of tasks via exploitation on older Naughty Dog game. Jason Schreier says so, but it is bullshit. It's highly unlikely this is the case. It's more likely that it's a hacker who's also an ex-developer, or even more likely it's just a developer, because this is way too detailed, way too technical for someone to know what they're doing. This total stranger seems to be very skillful at hacking. It's beyond hacking. Hacking is getting into a system, bypassing security and doing whatever you want. This is a developer. This is a software developer using specific customized tools to run certain things. Here we see the drive it's on, the instance or the reference to the server or the directory, and then the file. Text is in Portuguese, could mean more than one person involved, or the person who leaked it from the inside Naughty Dog knows multiple languages. No, I would say that's just a setting that the player could be used to, or they're testing, and you can change the in-game menu language on the fly. So they could have just been playing around with it. They could also know Portuguese. It's possible. More in Portuguese, the person could be testing the language. Yeah, exactly. And how it is showing in the subs and in the options in game. So it has all these things built in to the dev. Yeah, and that's, we can keep going through all these that are still available. But it's clear to me, like, if you've ever built software, this is a dev kit. These are all the internal controls and screens you would see when manipulating a level and testing it. For stress, for memory leaks, for slowdowns and stuttering, all sorts of other glitches. So they were clearly in the QA phase, and they should be in the QA phase for the past year or year and a half, or at least half a year, considering the release date is coming up soon. So I would imagine that people were crunching, and things got misplaced, things got stored, and someone got tired and just quit. Wasn't enough time, whatever. But I would agree with Memology 101 that this was done by a hacker, or sorry, this was done by a dev, or at least the footage was done by a dev. Whether a hacker got in I have no idea, but it could be more than one party. It could be the same party, a hacker and a dev. But either way, I have to disagree with Jason, And until we get further information, I'm quite sure this is a disgruntled developer who did all this. So thanks for listening, and have yourself a great day.